welcome or welcome back. This is my little corner of YouTube where I share with you all about what I'm getting up to with regards to my knitting. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I have a lot of things to share this episode. Not a lot of finished objects, but a lot of whips and plans and things that I am starting, and I'm really excited to share with you. Let's see, but before I jump into all of that, I do want to take a minute to acknowledge what I am wearing. This is my Summer Flow tank, which is by Stephanie Lotvin of Telly B Knits. This has just released earlier, well, I guess it was last week. I'm filming this on Tuesday, July 29th. So this released a few days ago, and it is still in the introductory period. Stephanie does really long introductions for her patterns where you can get them at a very steep discount, I think 50% off until August the 21st. And yeah, I test knitted this for her and I think it is fantastic. It's just a cute little tank. It has this is intentionally twisted stitches on this side, and is there something? It looks like there's a spot there. I don't know what that is. I have worn this a couple of times and maybe I got something on it without realizing it. Whoops, let's hope that this washes well. This is made in a DK weight yarn. I made mine out of Drops Cotton Light. I talked about this a couple of episodes ago. I went through like how much it costs and everything, but like the whole tank was definitely under $20 for me. I want to say it might have even been like $15. And the only reason it cost that much was because I got a lot of colors to use in my sharping, which I have a whole lot of these left over. Because really, if you do stripes, this only takes very much of the main color. Anyway, so I highly recommend the pattern. Also, there's a super cute like single color version. So if you're looking for just a good tank top pattern that gives you good bra coverage, I highly recommend this one. And if you like stripes like I do, it's even better because the stripes are all, the information, the instructions for doing the stripes is all written out for you, so you don't have to figure any of that out for yourself. So I highly, highly recommend this. And if you are interested in this tank or any of Stephanie's other patterns, I recommend you hang around because I am going to do a giveaway for one of her patterns. Okay, so let's jump on in to my finished objects. Like I said, I only have one this time, and let me pick him up off the ground. Yes, it is a him. Actually, maybe this will be a her, because I'm envisioning this is going to be a mama ghost. It was very cute little ghosty. Okay, so this is the Grinning Ghost. It is a pattern by Susan Claudino, and I saw on Instagram the other day, and it reminded me of last year, that they are running an emotional support ghost make along. So I made this pattern last year in a I think it was Lion brand glow in the dark yarn. I made one of these, same pattern, and he's put away with my Halloween decoration, so I don't have him out to show you, but yeah, I made one of these before for the emotional support ghost make along of 2024, and now they are starting the 2025 make along. So for that make along, you can crochet, you can knit, I'm sure you can sew as well, and maybe they'll accept polymer clay. I don't know. I don't think that they really care how you're making them. They just want you to make an emotional support ghost, because doesn't everybody need an emotional support ghost? I know I do. So So yeah, I made this little guy. I saw that post and it reminded me of it, and I think the next day I went and pulled some yarn out and got to work, and I made him in an afternoon of knitting. So this was, I can't tell you anything about the yarn. This is some yarn that I thrifted. I had 3 little mystery cakes of it. I'm expecting it's some kind of an acrylic blend. It's cute though. It has little speckles. I love a speckled yarn. So it's kind of like a very pale aqua with pink speckles in it. Like I said, I expect it's some kind of an acrylic blend, probably like baby yarn. I think it was probably around a sport or DK weight, and I just held 2 cakes of that. I stranded those at the same time, and so yeah, he's pretty good sized. I would say this is probably like my other one that I made out of just a supposedly worsted weight yarn was fairly, well, it was a fair bit smaller than this one. So I think he's probably larger than the worsted weight. I keep saying he, but I think I'm gonna make another one of these in the same yarn, but held single stranded. And so it can be a mama ghost, and she'll have a little baby ghost to go with her. Yeah, so let's see, that make along is hosted by Witchin' Knittin' Mama and NoKnitSherlock. I will I'll put their information up in case you want to look them up and participate in this. But yeah, it is the Emotional Support Ghost Make Along 2025. And if you use one of Susan's patterns, because I think she has several different patterns for Halloween-y type things, if you use one of her patterns, you get like a double entry into the make along. So I will get two entries for this little ghosty. But super cute. I think the pattern looks super cute and is very easy. I'm just always amazed when I knit stuffies that people are so creative and can figure out where to put the increases and decreases to get a cute shape. So yeah, I think it's very cute. I wish I had a little bit larger safety eyes. I used the biggest ones that I had, but I think they would have been cuter if they had been even bigger. And then I always really don't like my hand embroidery. The eyes are not too bad, but I really am not thrilled with my mouth. I remember the last time I made this, I really struggled with the arms. I got those put on like backwards or something. I made them this time with zero problem, and I don't even know why I would have had any problems with them last time. So the pattern is super clear, super easy. Highly, highly recommend it for a very cute little ghost. Okay, so my Grinning Ghost is my only finished object this time, but I have got a lot of whips. So first up is the Darius Cardigan. So I am test knitting this for the designer Jennifer Owens, whom I've never tested for before. And I've actually never knit her designs before, but like it is very well written. So I have made a lot of progress since last I showed this. I am done all the way down to, I'm into the hem ribbing. So I've got a front and a back complete. You knit each part separately until you get to where your join is going to be under the sleeves, and then you join it all together and knit the whole thing flat. So it's just miles and miles and miles of the same cabled pattern. And the same little twisted rib cabling is on the front. yeah, so nothing really huge to report on this one. Here's the very pretty edge. This is done, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what this is called. I mean, I know how this is done. You slip some stitches to give you this really nice edge. When I started at the top, I was doing that pretty tightly because I'm a pretty tight knitter, and so I was slipping those stitches pretty tightly, and I quickly realized that I was going to need to not do that, so that my button band would have stretch. So I have been intentionally going quite loose on my stitches that are going to be slipped, and that seems to be working. But yeah, this one's really coming along. I've made great progress on that. Really happy with what I have done. I am making this in Knit Picks High Desert, which is a yarn that I absolutely love. I don't have any of it uncaked here, but here's one of my unused balls. It's this just really nice, super bouncy, soft yarn. I don't know, I've gushed before about how much I love this yarn, but I just really do. As I'm knitting this, it has just been such a joy to work with, and so I'm just really enjoying the knitting experience. Yeah, working with good yarn or nice yarn that you enjoy really makes such a difference in you know, and getting through those longer projects when they start to be a slog. So I'm really happy that I chose to work with the High Desert, and I am down to almost the end of my third ball, and I'm starting to be a little worried about doing 2 sleeves and possibly some of the hem with just 2 balls, but I'm trying to remind myself this is sport weight, so each of those balls goes a little bit further than like when I have worked with the worsted weight, but we'll see. I guess if worst comes to worst, I can go and hopefully order some more. I'm not entirely sure they still have that colorway, or beg and plead and see if I can find some in somebody's D-stash. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Recently, it seems to be that I sort of jumped the gun in worrying about running out of yarn. So I'll try not to do that until I actually know that I am going to run out of yarn. So this one's coming along really nicely. There have been a few places where I have messed up my cabling, and I've had to go back and duplicate stitch to fix it. And I'm looking, one of those places was like right at the shoulder. Oh yeah, here's one of them. Where I had just twisted my cable the wrong way, and so I went and duplicate stitched the cheater method to fix that. I have dropped and fixed some cables when I'm not too far, but all of the ones that I have fixed with duplicate stitch were like miles back when I realized that I had miscrossed them. So trying to be, well, at this point I'm on the ribbing, so I'm not having to worry about it, but I'm trying to be very conscientious and check after every cable row, like did I get them correct? But somehow I still managed to miss some. Okay, let's see. Next up, we have my EnolaV, which really there's not a lot more progress to show you on this one. I talked about last time, I discovered like as I was filming that this was a very light fingering as I was looking at the yardage on the ball band. And so I was like, maybe I should block that before I keep going. And so I did. I blocked it, and I'm not sure that it got less transparent when I blocked it, but my fabric definitely looked better. And I made the decision that I was gonna go ahead and try to, I was gonna go ahead and do the yoke, and I would knit just the yoke and reassess and see how it was looking, and then make a decision on whether to proceed or not. Because I do really like the feel of the fabric, the yarn. I think it'll be super comfortable to wear. So yeah, So this one's going, I have not done, as you can see, a ton of work on it. I think I did, you know, another inch or so at least, and I've got another inch or so before I start the front panel. So I'm showing you the back and holding it up, but this will be in the back eventually. So you pick up shoulders and knit those down, and then you join the tops together to create the yoke once you've done that. So hopefully I will have started will have finished knitting down the back yoke, and will be started on the shoulders by the end of the week. That's my goal for that one. So that one is just like very boring stockinette, and also I think I mentioned last time, but because it is so light, I am finding it a little bit difficult to like the needles just feel really large and clunky for the weight of yarn that I'm working, so it's not the most pleasant knitting experience. I think it'll be easier once it's in the round, but knitting flat back and forth, I just find it kind of fiddly. So that's my EnolaV. It is still in progress. I did decide not to rip it back. Okay, then I have started another new project, which I think I mentioned last time that I was going to do this. I'm not sure that I had even received my yarn at that point, but I got my Bubbly Boucle from Knit Picks from their summer sale. Some of the colors were extremely reduced in price, so I got some of those. Well, I got 2 of those. This is my main color. This is the color Seltzer. It's kind of it's gray, a light gray. I would say almost has like a purplish lavender kind of undertone to it, maybe, if anything. And I have cast on and started knitting a Raglan sweater with it. Yeah, okay, this is the front, and it's just gonna be Raglan. I am using the Zipper Sweater Light Raglan pattern because I liked how, like, that was the right feel for what I wanted it to overall fit like, but I definitely did not want to do that collar. Again, for this, like, I'm just using it for the Raglan numbers. Probably not the best pattern to do that with, since you do start that pattern flat and it's knit flat. Like, at the point that I am right now, this would still be knit in the flat. Like, it's knit flat until you get to about right here before it joins in the round, because you have to get past the quarter zip part. So that has taken a little bit of translation, but if you've ever made a top-down sweater before, you know, there's really not a lot to it. So what I'm thinking is I'll come back in and use smaller needles and pick up a collar, and I want a just nice big double folded collar because I'm wanting this to be just a really comfy, loungy, around the house weekend kind of sweater. Can you see the texture there? So this, like, it has been engaging to knit just because I'm, you know, it's sort of an experiment. I've never worked with boucle before, but it is, whew, that boucle is a bear to work with. It is not the mindless stockinette pattern that I was kind of thinking it was. Like, the pattern itself is mindless. You know, you're just knitting and doing increases every other round, but it is really hard to see what you're doing in that boucle. Those little curls of fiber are just everywhere, and yeah. So this is not a project, like, you have to be looking at your project to work on this. And sometimes, like, I can't tell, is this just a twist of fiber that has gotten over my needle, or is this the core, the central core that I'm actually supposed to be knitting? So it's really easy to, like, accidentally increase into, like, create an accidental increase by knitting into one of those curly loops of fiber, as well as the core. I think it's also easy to drop a stitch if you think it is one of those curly loops and move it off your needle. needles. So yeah, it's definitely been challenging, but I've been putting in, you know, a few rows. I'm trying to do just a few rows a night so that I am making steady progress on that one. And I don't have, obviously I don't have like a need for that one. I mean, I don't have a need for any of my sweaters really, but I don't even have like a super specific plan for that. Like, I just thought it would be fun and nice to add to my weekend evening rotation of sweaters, but it will be a while before it will be cool enough to even think about wearing that. So yeah, so that is my, I'm calling that my Loungey Raglan, because that's what it will be for, but it is the zipper sweater light. Oh, and I am on the collar that I said I was gonna pick up and do a folded collar. On the inside of that collar, I am planning to do a contrast color. And do I have it in here? Looks like some, oh, no, I do have it. Here's the color that I'm going to use for the inside. This is grape soda, isn't it? Super cute. They had a lot of different brights. This is one of the ones that was on super discount, and I like purple. That's my husband's favorite color, and one of my kids. So we like purple in this house, and I thought that would be really cute. I did think about doing the whole thing in purple, and then I decided, well, it'll be like slightly more wearable, I think, in the lighter gray, but anyway, a whole purple one would have been cute as well. So that is the Loungey Raglan. And I didn't write down what size I'm doing that one in, but it's, I'm just doing exactly the same as what I did on my zipper sweater light. So if you are really dying to know before I give you all of those details, you can look up my zipper sweater light on Ravelry. Okay. And then I am not going to show you my Umbria summer top again, but I have made a tiny bit of progress on that, but not enough to like be visually meaningful. But I am still working on it. It has not fallen by the wayside. I did cast on and work a couple of inches of the Selwood tee, which I did show several podcasts ago, and that one I have not made any progress on at all since, you know, like the second day I had it on the needles, because it was just looking way too, like it was just gonna be basically mesh, it looked like. And it's one that I need to block and see if there's any salvaging it, but really I think at this point, like I just need to unravel that one because I am not feeling it. I was not finding the pattern particularly fun to work. So yeah, it's bottom up. I mean, that's always like a problem for me. It makes it trickier to fit and less appealing. So yeah, that one I'm not showing you. And also I probably just need to rip it out and you know, send it to the frog pond, get that yarn back, and put it up. Okay. And then I have a couple of patterns that I have swatched for and are actually ready to go. And let me pull those yarns out. So first of all, there is the Dunedrifter, which is one of the patterns that I had in my spring summer plans video. I have wanted to make this one for a while, and in that last order that I put into Knit Picks, I ordered another ball of the Samia. Whoops, my swatch is like unraveling as I hold this up. This is one of my teeny tiny little cheater swatches. If Patty Lyons could see this, she would be so disappointed in me. Look at that beautiful drape and shine. The sample that they made of Dunedrifter calls for a silk singles, and so the shine and the drape, like I thought that this would work really well for it. I've talked before about like shiny yarn. I have kind of a I found that I don't really like it, but I think that it looks really good in this pattern. So I'm hoping that I will like it there. And this is in the color abalone or abalone shell, not too sure. And yeah, so I got this one swatched up and I am ready to cast it on whenever the mood strikes me. On the Dunedrifter, it is knit sideways, so actually row gauge is more important than stitch gauge. And I was a little bit, I was like bang on stitch gauge. My row gauge was a little bit off, especially after blocking. So when I washed this one, the stitches, like it got smaller, interestingly. So it did not grow, but it actually like kind of closed up. And so my fabric looks a lot better, I think, now that it has been blocked. My swatch is getting smaller all the time. I keep dropping my yarn ball. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good for being this is Cupro, and sorry, maybe I have the tag. Yeah, okay, it is Cupro and mulberry silk. So 80% Cupro and 20% mulberry silk. I'm not sure, I looked up before what Cupro was. I think it's some sort of like a leftover part of bamboo maybe, or something like that. It's definitely a plant based fiber, and then mulberry silk. So I would expect this to grow like with weight and stuff, if not with the washing. But yeah, so row gauge is important because it's knit sideways. But I'm thinking I can kind of see, you know, how things are looking once I've got it on, and then work to a little bit larger size than I was planning on if I need to adjust for the rows. So sorry, without looking at the pattern, without having it right in front of me, I'm not entirely sure what I was thinking there, but I was making a plan, and I was noting that, you know, that the row gauge is important, and I made myself a note in the pattern to be sure and check at this point, because this is when you're making the decision about how long or how wide you're gonna go, where that row gauge is really gonna be key. So yeah, so that was one. And then last time I filmed, I was asking, or a couple of times ago, I guess, when I filmed, I was asking for advice about what fiber I could use to knit the Winnie top, which I loved. Like, I mean, I think lots of people love this one. Loved, bought as soon as it dropped, and then was like, wait a minute, what am I gonna make it with if I'm not, because I'm definitely not using that card of cashmere. Because it seems like you want something light, but also something a little bit fluffy, but like I want to wear this not in the dead of winter, so fluffy is usually like alpaca or mohair, you know, something warmer, cashmere. So what can I do? And I didn't think that I had anything suitable, but then I remembered that I had, actually, I think it was when I went to get the Samia out of my closet, I saw this, Voliere from Knit Picks. Hopefully that's showing up for you. This is a 30% mulberry silk, 40% linen, 30% baby alpaca yarn. And it is in a lace weight. And I had talked about this back in my spring plans video. I was like, I thought I was gonna use this. I think I thought I was gonna use this for my Dunedrifter, and then I started looking at it and realized, wait, this is lace weight. This is not fingering weight, which is what the Dunedrifter calls for. And so I was like, I don't know if I had a plan for this or what I was thinking. What I was thinking I was gonna do with this when I bought this. I think I bought this during their big sale in November, so it was probably just like for a really good price. Probably, my guess is this was one of the $3 a ball. Or $4, I guess now it's $246, not $135 is what it used to be. So this is probably $4 a ball. And yeah, so I probably just bought it thinking I can do something with this. So what I realized though is if I hold, since this is kind of a fuzzy yarn, if I hold this double, maybe I can simulate a DK weight with that. So I swatched it up, and I already unraveled my swatch, so I can't show you that, but I was able to get gauge, and it was not a terribly transparent fabric. Like, I think it will work. And also it does have, I'm not sure if that's showing up or not, but like there is a fair bit of halo just as I'm sitting here and looking at this because of that alpaca content. This is not, I don't know, hopefully it will not be a horribly hot fabric that it makes, because like I said, I do want to wear this not in the dead of winter. So I'm probably, with alpaca in it, I'm not going to be able to wear it outdoors during the summer, but hopefully I can wear it in the air conditioning. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy about that. It's this really pretty pink color. Can't tell if my camera is focusing at all. This is the color Gala. Not sure how you say that. G-A-L-A-H. Yeah, so I'm happy to have found something in my own stash that I think that I can use to make a cute version of that Winnie top. So that one is also swatched and, you know, got everything figured out. I just need to cast on whenever I get in the mood to do that. But before I had the chance to cast either of those on, I was, let's see, making a little Instagram reel about what I had in a project bag that I had not opened for 11 months. And due to that, getting into that, I decided to resurrect my 3 Seasons cardigan. So this is another pattern by Wool and Pine. Let me just show you the back since it's too hard to see that. So it's the cardigan version of their 3 Seasons line of patterns, and I can definitely see, you can probably see it here, like the problem with this, why I stopped knitting on this back in August. So I cast this on August the 1st of 2024 and was having such a good time. Things were going so well. And then I had knit like probably 2 or more inches into my second ball when I sort of stepped back and realized that, oh my goodness, there was a huge difference in the amount of speckling in this yarn. I hear my kitty cat. In my second ball, and so I've got this huge line of demarcation. So I actually talked about this in a video I posted like a year ago, going, you know, what should I do? And basically I just stuffed it in the project bag and didn't do anything. Left it on the needles for a long time until I decided I needed my needles back, but it was still like on the cable. And so I decided I'm just gonna get that out and finish it. And what I'm thinking is that I will try over dyeing it with RIT dye, because this is Knit Picks Comfy Color Mist, which is, let's see, I think 70% cotton. Yes, no, 75% Pima cotton, 25% acrylic. So my good old Kool-Aid dyes won't do anything to it, but the RIT dye should. And I've never dyed with RIT dyes, but I have some blue that I picked up ages ago for an unremembered reason at this point. So I can do that. Anyway, so this was knit to probably about right here when I pulled it out, and so I knit the rest of the motif and then did the ribbing. And last night I picked up at the shoulders. You cast on provisionally at the the shoulder top here. So I picked up those provisionally cast on stitches and then knit all of this down and bound that off. And then this morning I have started the other side and should be able to finish that today if I work on it. And then I think the next thing you do is seam it down the sides, your side seams, and then you put on the collar and then you add the sleeves, and then she will be done except for whatever dyeing I'm gonna do. So yeah, I just decided this one has been just weighing in the back of my mind, even though it's been sitting off in the corner in a project bag. It just bugs me when I know that there is a languishing whip. I don't know. I'm not one of those people, I think, who can handle having a lot of really long-term whips. So I would be very glad to just have something done with that one. And if it fits, and the dyeing works on it, I think it'll be a really, really cute little fall sweater to have. It should be more wearable for me than like a fully wool sweater would be, for, like I said, for the fall, because it really doesn't start getting cold here until November. I wouldn't say cold. It doesn't start getting really cool enough to wear wool, until definitely into November. But this would be good for cooler days. Yeah, if I can get the color to look okay on that. I'm hoping that, you know, they say when you over dyeing isn't always the answer, because like if something is two different colors before it's dyed, like it's still going to be two different colors. Like it's going to pick that color up differently, or the darker shade, you know, under part of it is going to still show through with the new dye. But I don't know. I'm just hoping it will be a little more subtle. If it's just like, if I go for like a solid blue. Okay. So got that going on. And that one I'm making super good progress on. So I only started knitting cables a couple of years ago. My Billy pullover was my first like major cabled sweater. And I think I did that one in the fall of 2023. And so when I was working on this one in August 2024, I remember thinking, oh, you know, this is a challenge. But I guess I've just done enough cables since then, that as I'm working on it now, I'm like, oh, this is a breeze. Like there's nothing really hard on this. So I had done the 3 seasons pullover. So I had like worked through an entire sweater's worth of all of those charts. Actually, I did the pullover after I had already started and abandoned the 3 seasons Cardi, because I did that as a test knit. So yeah, but it's just interesting like how revisiting a pattern that you once thought was challenging can be less so once you have a little more experience. But yeah, so it's going pretty quickly. And then I'll put a picture up here, but I have applied for yet another test knit after talking about how I didn't need to be doing test knits. I just need to be making my own choices. But I saw these, Brianna teased these in her email, what do you call those? Her like business email that she sends out. She had teased these a couple of emails ago and I thought they were super cute. She is testing a Halloween-y themed sweater. It's like, you know, Halloween animals. I loved that, would love to do it, but I already have one Halloween sweater that I made last year. And you know, as I said, it doesn't really start to get cold here until November. So I already have one Halloween sweater that has a very small window of time that I can wear it. So I just didn't think that was going to be the best use of my time and yarn and effort to make a Halloween sweater, but socks are a different story. So I have applied to test those. So I'm hoping that I will get to do that. Yeah, so those will be fun. They're called the Folk Spell Socks. folk spell socks, and those should be out in time for spooky season. Okay, and then I wanted to tell you a terrible story. So after my last video where I was showing different sweaters that I was thinking about entering into the fair, I went ahead and threw in my Arctic Light sweater into the wash, and I think I mentioned this before, but I have just recently figured out how to do the spin only cycle on my washer. And so I, hand wash like normal, my sweaters in a basin and then spin them out in the washing machine. And so I had done that, had put in my Arctic Light into the spin only cycle, and then I had gone and sat down on the couch to knit, and I was knitting away, and I saw my teenager walk through the house, walk down the hallway with his laundry hamper, and didn't think about it. And then I don't know, probably 30 minutes later, it hit me that I had never taken my sweater out and he had walked down the hallway with laundry. And I was like, oh no, he's not gonna, like, if he just opens up the door to the washer, like, you're not gonna see a mountain of clothes in there if there's just one thing and it's like down at the bottom and it's kind of dark. You didn't turn the lights on. Anyway, I just had this terrible feeling that he had not seen my sweater and pulled it out. And so I like jumped up and ran down the hallway, and sure enough, the laundry was going. I could see that it had 30 minutes left on its hot cycle that it was doing. And I look around, hoping desperately that he might have pulled it out and it was, sitting in a laundry basket or something, and there was no sweater. So I, frantically was pushing the buttons, trying to get it to stop. And I did get in there, and I had to dig through, just a whole mountain of teenage boy laundry. And there were jeans, there was Velcro, there was all the things, all the terrible things were in the laundry. And at the bottom of it all was my sweater, my beautiful Arctic Light. So I pulled it out, and it was like slimy and wet. It smelled like Tide, but it did look like it was not the size of a Barbie sweater or anything. So I went ahead and put it to soak again in the sink and in cold water, and wasn't really sure what to do. I don't know, like, how do you get Tide out of something that's soaked if you're not supposed to like squish it and wring it and stuff. Anyway, so I ran a couple of different rinses on it, trying to get that out as much as I could, and then squished it out. I was afraid to put it back in the spin cycle again. So I did it by hand and laid it out to dry, and then a couple of days later, I pulled it out, and I think it has survived. Let's see. I'll try it on, and we can look at it together. It definitely does not have as much ease as it used to have. The arms were pretty baggy before, and there was a lot more drape to it, but I can get it on, and it doesn't look totally horrendous. Yeah, doesn't have quite the same stitch definition that it had before, but on the whole, for being in the machine, getting agitated and washed with jeans and everything else on a hot cycle, I think I'm really lucky. Yeah, so good news. I will not have to commit homicide against my son. Yeah, I was really scared for a couple of days there, but you'll be glad to know that yes, I did not kill him. In fact, I didn't even say anything to him when it happened, because I was like, I will be able to be calmer about this if I know that you know, that it turned out okay. So it did, and I just told him, please look before you throw stuff in. And also I've decided that I probably just need to like hang a little like make a little sign and tape it to the outside of the washing machine when I have something in there that says like, this is not empty or something, and then remove that. So yeah, because it's kind of a little bit on me that I left it there, and it is really easy to miss. I had been afraid before that was gonna happen, and it did, so kind of my fault as well. Okay, so I told you way long ago at the beginning of this to stay tuned, because I do want to gift someone one of either the pattern for this, the summer flow tank, or any of Telly Bean Knit's other patterns that she has published individually. So if you are interested in getting a free pattern from her Ravelry design store, you do need a Ravelry. But if you're interested in that, I would love for you to participate. To enter into the giveaway, all you need to do is drop me your favorite, make a comment with your favorite summer emoji in it, and then I'll know that you are entering the giveaway. And I'll just do the like random generator thing, or if there's only one comment, you know, that person will win it. But I'll choose a winner and announce that on my next video. So so be sure to subscribe if you already haven't, so that you will get the little notification for the next time that I upload, and you can watch to see if you are the winner. Now, I've never done a giveaway before, but what I gather based on what, you know, all the YouTubers always say, it really brings out the scammers. So I will not ask for any of your information. Once I have announced the winner, I'll have you contact me, and we will, and I'll also like try to tag you, comment on your original comment, and let you know that you were the winner. So I'll like announce it on here, and then also, you know, sort of tap you as I can, but then you've got to contact me, and I will get you that free pattern code. Yeah, I'll never ask you for any details. All right, no personal details. Yeah, so just be really careful. I don't want anybody getting scammed. But yeah, that is all I have. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I know that your time is limited, so I really appreciate you coming to see what I'm up to. And I always love, like, definitely, you know, leave me a summer emoji so that you can be entered into that giveaway. But I always love to get comments and just hear what you're making, hear where you're from, get thoughts, feedback on my projects. I do not have really people in real life who knit and are excited about the, you know, yarns and patterns and all that. So love to have that conversation on here. All right, that is it. Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed listening and knitting on your own projects. I'll see you next time. Bye.